Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Doing a little something new today. I picked this up off the flea bay. For those of you that are familiar with this stuff, this is a Gerstner, an H. Gerstner and Sons machinist tool chest. And I've been wanting one of these, well, ever since I can remember. My father had one, along with his old Kennedy. And I finally picked one up. A little something new. I'm going to restore this one. This is called a Leatherette. It's a model 41D, I believe. And it's not too bad a shape. As far as old boxes, I think this one, well, I don't know for sure yet, but I think this is from around the mid to late 1940s. And yeah, I'm going to restore it. I finally got myself, after all these years, I got myself a Gerstner box. So it doesn't have a front lid. And I'm taking care of that. Gerstner's been around since 1906. 116 years. Been a family-owned and operated business ever since then. Got a repair I got to do there. And there is a friend of mine who I just met. He's a fellow YouTuber. Meanwhile, in Indiana is his name, screen name. He sent me this. He does all sorts of stuff. He does cooking, automotive, obviously wood restorations, furniture. He's got his hands. He dabbles in just about everything, which is kind of what most of us do. But he was kind enough to send me some of this leatherette material. And it's got the paint speckles on it. It pretty much matches mine. You know, if I didn't know any better, it was part of mine. But I'm going to use that to repair that spot over there. And then I'm going to restore the wood. It looks like gold oak or blonde oak. And yeah, something new to do. Sorry for the finger. There's no key, no lid, like I said. So, but I've got that coming. Gerstner makes the keys too, and they also make the front lids. But I've still got my eye on, or I've got my eye out for a lid out there. I haven't found one yet, but I'm gonna have Gerstner make me one. But I guess follow along with me as I attempt to restore this thing. And this will be regular part of my shop kit up here. The watch shop, the little machine shop I got. So, looks like it's going to be fun. I used to do woodwork in a former life. And I've always liked it, even though I gravitated towards metal. Yeah, drawers are in good shape. The felt is in good shape. So, yeah, check it out. More to come. So, day 2, I got all the hardware off. And a lot of it's in rough shape. I had to take the handle off. That was rotted, completely rotted. And I'm just going to replace that. I was going to try and restore that, but I think I may do that at a later date. But I took all the hardware off, and I got my work cut out for me. Some of this is in really rough shape. I'm going to be doing a lot of buffing and shining and wire wheeling. I had a bunch of them in the ultrasonic cleaner last night. So that's probably going to take the majority of the time. I got some felt coming from the inside. Like I said, the felt looks pretty good. It's in pretty good shape. I don't know if I'm going to mess with that yet, but there you can see where I took off the handle on the top. And of course, you had to take the felt down, had to take the mirror off to get at it. So right now, today, I'm going to fixing to put some Dunham's wood putty or water putty and fill up some of them holes from the old handle. So I have a nice smooth surface to apply my new felt. And I'll be applying, this is called stiff felt or sizing felt, which is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing in the stores and such. This comes with sizing already added to the 100% acrylic felt, what gives it its shape. It's thicker, it's easier to cut, it holds its shape, and it's easier to apply. And I'll be using hide glue, which is a natural glue made from the fats and stuff from animals. They used to call it back in the day horse glue. That's where you hear horse glue, but I don't know if it's from horses or what, but it's water soluble, it's totally natural, it's easy to work with, and it's pretty easy, user friendly coming on down the road should I have to make any kind of repairs. All you do is add a little hot water to it and a little heat, and it peels right up. I don't like those synthetic glues or glue guns. You don't use none of that. That stuff's just not. It's not good. It's messy. It's a giant pain in the ass, and hide glue is the way to go. So, moving right along. Lots of work to do. Got the insides cleaned out. I'm gonna be. I don't know if I'm going to be stripping the wood. You see the wood veneer, the oak veneer in front. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that or just restoring it. We'll see. I'm going to clean it first. It's got decades of grime on it. Continuing on with the restoration here. Still got everything apart. Got the box all stripped down. Made myself some felt. Also got my replacement front cover, and I got my supplies, some 50-cent sponge brushes, couple bristle brushes, got some wood restorer or finish restorer. You can use anything you want, actually. And I got the drawers out, got all the hardware stripped. Got some 4/0 copper wool. I use copper because I can get some, and it's a little bit more forgiving on the wood and the grain. But you can use steel wool. It's not a big deal. It's fine enough, so it's not going to do anything. And this is oak. It's pretty tough stuff. One thing here, this is an original Gerstner box, and that's an original sticker decal, and you can see it's old. So I have to be very careful. I'm going to try and preserve that. I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm just going to hit that with a little bit of soap, warm soap and water, and maybe a cotton swab. I'm not sure, but I got to be careful with the finish restorer, because that stuff's got petroleum in it, petroleum distillates, and I don't want to destroy that. That's going to be interesting. But anyway, continuing on. And my plan was originally to go to a buddy of mine's house and use his bench grinder with a wire wheel. And, I hadn't got to it in a bit. And, once I start to thinking, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I got a Unimat here. How about maybe if I just get some wire wheels? And I thought, well, I got wire wheels down on my regular toolbox, down in my shop downstairs. So I went and got some. And put the Jacob's chuck on the spindle, tightened it up, and now I'm just in the middle of testing it out. So I've got one thin wire wheel on here, then I've got a thicker wire wheel right here, and I also brought up a brass wheel. So I've been testing them out. I ran all three of them, seeing which one worked the best, and I find that this thin one here works the best as far as knocking down the surface rust on the hardware. As you can see, this one, I picked this one. This one's in real bad shape. Well, not bad shape, but this is the heaviest crudded up one I could find, and this is its matching piece. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I just did this one. The one with the brass wheel turned out pretty good, but it took a lot of pressure and a lot of work. And my little DC motor here, I don't want to burn it up just by polishing and stuff. But so then I tried the thicker wire wheel, and that works, but I can't get into the corners and crevices and stuff, and that still takes a lot of horsepower, a lot of elbow grease. So then I went back to this thinner wheel, and that seems to work the best. So I just did this piece, the bottom hasp, and that's pretty good. The best part about it is it didn't knock off the chrome under it. The nickel. The old nickel plating. It's still pretty much intact, which means, it shouldn't rust too bad in the future. But, you know, sometimes the wire wheeling, you got to be careful. It takes off nickel, takes off chrome, whatever. So I hit it with the thin wheel, and then back there I just touched a little bit of surface rust because that's not going to be seen, and then I moved on. So let's give it a shot, huh? That brass wheel, it gives it a nice satin finish, but like I said, it takes forever. But look at that. Slick. Anyway, I think my hardware is going to turn out better than I thought. So let's try this one. God. And that's why I have too many projects going on at once. Not too bad, huh? Buffed them all out, polished them, got probably 90% of the corrosion and decades of crud off of them. Not too bad. So, and I polished them up a little bit with a little bit of semichrome. This stuff is the best. Works on everything. Got a little setup here for making a split rivet tool. So when I go install some of the hardware on the toolbox for the handle, it uses split rivets. So making myself a tool, got a bit of a setup here, a little rotary table, or an indexing table, however you want to call it. I'm going to put 245 bevels on this piece of bronze. Well, there I'm climb milling and then conventional milling. I'm taking about 10 to 20 thousandths at a crack. I got a 1/2 inch 4-flute end mill in there with a 3/8 diameter shank and a 3/8 tool holder attached to the Unimat. It's working just fine. And you can see the bevel. You can see kind of where I scribed a line, and I'm just pretty much eyeballing this. That's the center. And being that it's a 45-degree cut, I'll just cut to that line, which theoretically is the center and good enough for me. And then I'll turn this table and switch it back over 45 degrees facing that way. So that's done. Not too shabby. You can see that. That's a split rivet set. I made it out of bronze because I just, or brass, whatever, because I just had it laying around, and there's a split rivet. And I just dropped it. You see that? See the split? This is steel. So what's going to happen is once I put the handle in, put a bucking bar behind it, and then I'll just start tapping on that until the ears start to split, and then they catch onto the wood. And once you get them started, take your set out and then just tap the end of that. Tap the ears flat on the back side of the wood, and you're good to go. Moving right along. Got the staining and one coat of poly on. They're looking pretty good. I was able to match that that front lid, I think, pretty good to the drawers. But, you know, there's always going to be subtle differences between 80, 90-year-old finished wood and a piece that was just made. But I think I matched her pretty good. It's good enough for me. I am with my horse glue, or my hide glue. Got her in the Minister of Domestic Affairs crock pot, cooking away at about 160 degrees Fahrenheit or a little more. And we're about to apply the felt. There's the toolbox lid. Here's my one piece of felt. That'll be going there, and then from there I'm going to be going inside here and putting my homemade piece of felt right there. So away we go. Now if this starts getting coagulated and goopy and crappy, then I'll just put some more hot water in there. And I got one of my old spreaders and spatulas from my old car body kits. Use it as my smoother. Start from the inside corner. Corners, I should say. Work it into the corner. And then get the rest of the areas that need the glue. Take the felt. Lay it in. Then hit your corners and then smooth it out. And once you start to feel the glue taking hold, and it doesn't start bubbling up on you, it's one nice thing about this hide glue is it's all water soluble. So if you drip a few, you can wipe that off. Just heat it up a little bit with a little bit of warm water and a wet, warm cloth, and it'll come right up. Same for your hands too. Just like that. And then let it cool. On to the next one. Well, there's the finished product. Finally finished her up last night. Started this about, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. And it's just, it's done. This isn't a complete restoration. It was just I'd call it a partial restoration. Because I wanted to keep the original patina, you know. It's old. But I got all the hardware on. New handle. Got a key for it. That works great. Oh, my coffee's done. felt in, my new felt, homemade, that went pretty good. Got the mirror all shined up, mirror frame I should say. Stripped that and coated it with some poly. Got all the wood done. Drawers all work nice. Got those redone. I didn't take the, I didn't strip those down completely. What I did was I took some wood restore, which has got petroleum distillates in it. And I wanted to leave the original finish in the grain and the color. So I just cleaned it. I applied some of that restorer with some 4/0 steel wool. And worked it in there, took off all the grime. And it turned out pretty nice. And the company decal I was worried about also turned out really nice. I was able to save it. You can see it there. So that's the original, which I'm pretty happy about. And I restored the all the little pull knobs. Got that all stained. Got the hardware all put in. Then another thing I did is I put a bunch of, I took some finishing wax, tree wax it's called, and I applied that with some steel wool, also real light, and let it dry for a little bit, and then polished it off. Gave it that nice satin finish. Did the repair on the side. It isn't quite how I wanted it in the beginning, but again, it wind up a little bit, I think it turned out okay. The problem was that the damage that was down in here, and I don't know if it was an acid burn or an actual fire burn. I mean, you can still see some of it right here. But it was such a jagged and uneven cut, you know, that I would have been playing with that and messing with it. So I just took the repair patch of Leatherette, cut it as best I could, and used the hide glue and applied that, and turned out just fine without making it look too funny. And it still maintains that old patina look which I like. I even repaired the bottom too. So there it is. Gerstner 41 series Leatherette machinist tool chest. And this one's gonna stay with me. It's gonna go up in the shop and be my it's gonna be my top box upstairs in the watch shop. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you later.